We're not starting, I'm going to stop.
Color the match.
Don't start.
The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. And now I'll give you over to Reverend Jack.
You mean I gotta wake him up?
Yeah, you gotta wake him up.
You want me on sound for this? Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear me. Oh, that's right, I gotta stay in. Okay. Everybody. We're gonna relax, and then we're gonna rev you up, and then we're gonna relax you again. This is called attunement. So sit with your feet on the floor, legs slightly apart, rest your hands on your thighs, and just go right down to the feet. We're going to tense the toes and the foot. Tense it up, tense it up. Release. Going up into the ankles and the calves and the knees. They're kind of keyed in together. Tense them up, tense them, tense them, tense them. Release. Going up into the thighs and into the buttocks. Tense the thighs and the buttocks. Tense them, tense it. Hold it. Release. Now we go up into our abdomen, our stomach area. And that goes right up into the solar plexus. Let's tense the stomach up. Tense it. Tense it. Hold it. Release. Going up into the chest area and the shoulder blades. Tense those boobies up. Tense them. Tense them. Tense them. Release. Going up into our shoulders and down into our arms. Tense them up. Tense them. Tense them. Hold it. Release. Let's do our hands and our wrists. Tense those hands up like you're squeezing grapes to make wine. Tense them, tense them, tense them. Release. If you ever made wine, you know what I'm talking about. Now we go up into our neck area, up to the jaws. Tense that throat. Tense it up. Tense it. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Now let's do our face. Our face and our forehead. Tense up that face. Tense it up. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Now do your scalp. Now you're going to say, how do you tense your scalp? Well, we're going to find out tonight, aren't we? You can work with your forehead muscles too. Tense that scalp. Your forehead. Tense it. Tense it. Hold it. Relax. Release. Very good. Now let's all get on our feet. I can go over a little. Okay. Okay, let's all put our arms out. Shake it out, shake it out. Now we're going to do an adagio routine. Go to your right, all the way out, and point, and point, and point, and hold it. Bring it back. Now let's go to the left. Hold it, and bring it back. Let's do it again to the right. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Relax and bring it back. And go to the left and stretch and stretch and stretch. Hold it and bring it back. Let's bring our arms up over our head. Stretch to the high ceiling. Stretch to the ceiling. Can we touch that ceiling? Feel grand, omnipotent. Bring it down and relax. Ooh, that one felt good. Let's do it again. Back up to the ceiling. Let's go. Reach, touch, feel the knobby ceiling. Feel that knobby ceiling. And down. What'd you do, Karen? Okay, let's shake all over. And now I got to turn off this sound. Free! Oh, boy, that feels good. On that one. Oh, I'm still on.
How's everybody today?
Good.
What I forgot to project, you want to hand out that, the first one there. Yeah, then they can see it if it comes out.
Back there.
Okay, as Jack is handing that out, today we're going to talk about the third chakra. And this chakra is, if you notice, it has a triangle going down. And to me, every time I see a triangle, it's for body, mind, and spirit. Or body, physical, mental, emotional, and so forth. And then it has svastikas on both sides. See these little things here? Now, I was very careful to look up what svastikas were. It's the same thing. It means fire. In Hindu, it means fire. But also, when we talk about the Nazi swastika with a W, this is a V, that's a W. Yeah, that is entirely different from what we're talking about here, because actually that was a very religious symbol that was taken from a Greek cross. And what that means is, on the cross it meant clockwise and counterclockwise, the way the hands were moving in that direction. So also this symbol is, you see, it is the fire wheel. It's the wheel of fire. The chakra is associated with the sun, and guess what? The ego. And it's also the center, complete center of digestion. And Chinese call this a triple warmer because heat is generated in this area for the process of digestion. So now the position of this chakra is underneath the sternum, behind the sternum, and it goes right in the back here, up above the navel and underneath the sternum or the rib cage. But you see it usually over the navel. But actually, it's above the navel and underneath, right. Like some people have I think it's the rib cage more than the sternum, but because that would go into the heart chakra, but that's what they're saying, about 4 inches above the navel and in the back. So everybody feel that center. Feel that center. you got to adjust to where you feel it's right for you. Usually they show the picture of it right over the navel. And they probably, I don't know, I guess it's because they all have them all lined up. As we talked about, the splenic one, the second chakra, that's moved over a little bit toward the spleen. So we know that, yes?
I have always experienced fear and ego and mental processes. I always feel that in my solar plexus.
Okay, that's what we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that with functions. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Because that's renewing my mind, because I'm dead. I don't have any things tonight, so I'm just going to have to let Spirit work through.
You left the notes.
All my notes are at home. And of course, you see on the petal it has the petals of the leaves growing open of the lotus, and that's how we're opening up here to the lotus. And the color, as we know it, is yellow. Shades of yellow are fine because it comes from the sun. The sun is yellowish, orange at times, but they associate everything with yellow, different shades of yellow, golden yellow, like sun yellow. And when we use this color, yellow is used for a lot of situations, sometimes with mental situations, if you use the color yellow. That's also done with a spectrochrome, or you can just put, different stones of yellow, because, why? Because the solar plexus is also with the mind. Okay, it also relates to the mind. A lot of times they talk about the element is fire. So when the Chinese talk and they talk about the fire in the belly, that's an energy. And we're going to talk about this energy because as we talk about the root chakra coming up and all the functions of the foundation and releasing, and then we move up a little further to the sacral chakra, and that's where we did more releasing. Now, what are we doing? We're bringing those energies up to work with what? The solar plex, which is fire and emotion, personality, ego, fears. So all of this relates to here. Now I also, the glands that it involves are the pancreas. And the development of this chakra is usually between 8 and 12. That's when it starts to develop. Sometimes a little earlier, it all depends, but most of the time between 8 and 12. Then it changes, it shifts again to the ages of like 34 to 38, just like the other chakras. You have a change every so often. And again at night, and when you're older, it also has a shift, because why? We grow. And as we grow, the energies are flowing. As we grow, what we think today isn't what we're going to think tomorrow. And this is all the process of the thinking and so forth. And it also is associated with smell. That's why it was so important that we get all the functions together with hearing, seeing, smelling, and so forth. Also, the spiritual aspect of this. The spiritual aspect of this is will. And in the 12 powers of man, Matthew was the disciple named for the solar plex area because of his will, because he had a change. He was very material. He was a tax collector. So he had to go from that materialism into the will of God to move forward. And this is where you can do that, right through this chakra. Everybody thinks it's through the heart chakra that you move spiritually. 95% of the time, it's right in the solar plexus, because we're moving that energy up, and you've got to clear that energy as a channel. And of course, we know that the etheric body, the auric body, is the mental body, and that would be probably about 18 to 20 inches, if I'm correct, away from the body. Remember, the first one was close to the body, then 3 to 6 inches, and then 6 maybe to 12 inches is this one. What are the functions of the solar plex? there to have you feel the different emotions at times. A lot of times they think we feel with the heart. The emotions start feeling in the solar plex area. When we say, I have this gut feeling, you get it in the gut first, don't you? A lot of times, and that associates with what? What is it working with? The brain. What do we associate fear with? Do we just think, oh, the brain has to, and you feel that fear in your stomach? How many people, when something happens, they want to just what? Something like a tragic happens or something, they just want to throw up. They just want to throw up. Or they just, this is all part of the solar plexus. As Kenny said, it also has a lot of fear. This is where we got to get rid of our fears that we have, within us, because the fear, the mind triggers off those fears. And it's right in the solar plexus. Our solar plexus are actually the brain of, I believe, the spiritual and a lot of the physical body. Why am I saying this? Because I often wonder, do you ever wonder, how does a pill know where to go? How does a pill know where to go?
That's never been.
But to me, if this is the powerhouse, if this is the powerhouse of all the functions, it has to go to digestion. Think of the brain is sending it to the solar plexus, which it has to be digested, and then it has to go. Where does it send it to? It has to send it someplace. Has to send it to your arm, your leg, your head. Does it make sense, or is this me? But stop and think about this, because I always ask questions. Well, how did that pill work? Ask your doctor, how does that pill work?
He can't tell you.
He can't tell you. But doesn't it make sense? If this is the brain of your digestion and all of that, wouldn't it be possible? Your brain says, okay, go down here to the stomach, and we're going to digest it. And then I have to use my intuition where this goes. So I'm going to send it to the foot. I'm going to send it here. Makes sense to me. Also, when we have fears, when you're doing these exercises, you're going to have fears come up. I heard some people say that they had a hard time with the first one, coloring it. And those things that I give you are for a reason, the mandalas and the pictures of the chakras. And it's very important. It's for a reason for your growth, because as you do that, you're releasing to make it that beautiful shade. You're releasing a part of that. You're releasing part of that. And if it's harder, that's good. Then stop back and think and say, all right, now why am I doing this? Why am I holding this on? I'm holding on to something there. So then regroup yourself and go back and then bring it forward again. And you'll see, then think about it. Don't do it all at one time. Do some of your coloring, say, one night, do some coloring. Maybe the next night you can do some coloring. And see how it affects you differently. See how the shades are going to change and things like that. And it's going to go easy. And then if you can't do it, stop. And then just kind of meditate about that. Now why? What is it that's bothering me that I can't move forward? That I can't move forward? Because in all of the research that I've done, they all kind of say the same thing. They all should be basically the same colors. It shows up like this on your photography. How many people ever had ERS do it? ERS does it where you put your hand on and it takes a picture of the body and you have your chakras all in, and some of them he can tell you which is too far open, which is too closed, and which is like normal. Did anybody ever have those aura cameras done? The aura pictures of the body, not just the aura, but the body with the things.
The body aura.
Well, they also have, if you go, I don't know if he's going to be there in September, but his name is ERS, that's his booth name. But he does it when this woman in the back is a doctor. And she doesn't tell anybody she's a doctor, but she also is a color specialist. That when she looks, this picture comes out of your body and it's all colors. And she can tell you exactly where and where it all functions from through that colored picture of the body. So, and it's all with the chakras. That's what she's reading. She's reading how it radiates the different shades out to all the parts of your body. And it's very, very interesting. Also, this is the function it's supposed to, like when we're little, between 8 and 12, I think the kids are doing it earlier now, but they say between 8 and 12, that they're starting to develop their full personality, okay? So if you have a little moody child, and if you have a moody child when she's 3 and she's 4, you might see her get a little pleasant. Or if you have a moody child like that, you might keep seeing her be in that mood. And there's nothing you're going to do to change that, because that's something within her that she has to, from birth someplace. I have no idea how that happens, but I know this little girl who has been like that since she's little, and one day she'll talk to you, the next day she won't talk to you, the next day she'll be all over you, the next day she ignores you. Is that the personality that's coming from the parents? I don't know. 95% of the time, I believe children do pick up on what they're around, And do I believe that this can be changed? Yes, I can. I think it can be changed when they're talked to about this. They're talked to. You talk to this one little girl I'm talking about, and she's about 9. Matter of fact, when she was 5, I kept saying to her mother, you know what, I think she's in hormonal changes already, because she's that moody. And we have to look at that child. And right now, they'll say, oh, there's something mentally wrong with the child. Well, it goes with the brain, doesn't it? You know, a lot of the moods that we have. But anyway, it's that kind of thing. It's their personality is developed. And then when we get later and we get it all cleaned up, then sometimes their personality is better. And then when we get older again, the personality can revert back to when we were a child 95% of the time. It makes sense when you think of it this way. I don't know why I'm putting these glasses on, because it's not. But anyway, this is the part where you have too much yellow in your system, when it's blaring. A lot of times that has, when it's too open, we're talking about too open, when that's flapping all over the place, that is sometimes a very domineering individual, where they like control, and that's brought up from what? From the sacral area. This is, see how this all blends, but you're working with that to make it an even energy that's moving up here. Now, remember the 2 energies we talked about? What are they? Anybody can remember? We talked about 2 energies in the sacral chakra that go like this. What's the name of them? That's right. Those are the energies that you need to know, because this is how it's going to move in your chakras. I should let him come up and do this.
Isn't that the male, female?
It's the male and the female, God, goddess, but it's the, yeah. But anyway, this gland, it also, a lot of diabetics have a problem in this chakra. And this is good for healers. If you're healing and you know they have diabetes, then you work on this chakra. You work on the front and the back. Don't forget the back chakra, because it's just as important as the front chakra. And a lot of people don't, they just work on the front. They don't turn them over and do the back. Also, what I want you to experience today is let me talk about some of the dysfunctions. Some of the dysfunctions are, and you'll laugh if you work with people, you'll say, oh, I know where they're coming from. They have this great big mess going on. Ego, it's also a big ego. thing. Your personality the ego can just go crazy with this chakra. Because they've never, what? Cleared up this stuff. You see how important it is to clear up this energy before it gets here? See? Because you're bringing up some of that. If you don't have like a lot of the hostility gone in your system, where's it going to end up? You're going to have it like this all the way through. It's not going to be a steady energy. It's going to be a very chakra energy. And what happens to the personality? Then the ego comes in, and they'll say, "Oh, do you look at some of these ball players and know where they're coming from? How about this ball player? This is I was thinking about this today. The ball player who sat in front of everybody and he said, I don't have an education and I got so much in this contract. That same man who didn't have an education, who was playing ball for millions of dollars, also had this, he's stuck somewhere down here with the anger, the bitterness, the hate, and he's having these dog fights.
Yeah.
Okay? You see how this all works? How jumbled he must be?
Oh, he's screwed up.
Because the energy hasn't flown properly. And that was just an example. Maybe I shouldn't give examples like that, but I couldn't help but think of that today while I'm doing a lot of this. Also, when the pancreas, it's anything that is the motion. Like I said, the feelings, we get that. The intuition comes from sometimes this solar plexus. Solar plexus, the intuition, because it also signals the brain and it goes back and forth. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take this hand. How many, when I'm talking about feeling the energy, how many know what I'm talking about? Okay. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take, Lloyd, you should come up and do this. We were practicing it. Take this hand and move it clockwise. Stand up to do this. Take this hand and move it clockwise. Now, take this hand and move it counterclockwise. Now, I want you to get it real close, get it close to your palms. Palms like this, Palms like this. Feel that. Get it close to your hands like this. Now, feel the way that energy is spinning. You feel that?
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah.
Let it go through your arms. Do you feel that? Get it close to your palms. With practice, it works. Practice this. How many can feel that energy?
Oh, yeah.
Can you feel the energy swirling? That's how your chakras are going to swirl. That's how they're going to swirl. And what's that doing? It's dancing. Now, do it again. Try to feel the dance coming up from the root. Try to feel that dance coming up. Visualize the dance. Visualize the dance.
Can't get him going back yet either. It's not working now.
Always do one hand first. Do one hand clockwise. And now come over with this one. Now, feel the dance. Feel the dance. Feel the dance up to those three chakras.
To concentrate too much.
But practice, it works. She said she has to concentrate too much. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Feel the energy.
I don't know if any of you have noticed that when I do chair healing,